So another discount retailer is closing its doors, or at least 1,000 of them. So Family Dollar is closing 1,000 of its stores. Now, this is a big deal because if you remember, I told you guys about how Dollar Tree bought out Family Dollar like almost a decade ago, 2015, I believe. Dollar Tree bought out Family Dollar for $8.5 billion, which is a whole heap ton of money if you ask me, but they bought them out and then they decided to merge a couple of their locations together. So you have Dollar Tree, Family Dollar individuals, right? And then when they got bought out, they still kept some of the Family Dollars around. They started slowly closing those down, and then they started merging other ones together. So you had these buildings that if you looked at them, it was Dollar Tree on the left, Family Dollar on the right, or vice versa. It just kind of depends. I have a video from probably maybe 2 years ago where I stopped at one of those in like on the Florida Alabama line. And when you walked in, it felt real weird because it didn't feel like a Family Dollar and it didn't feel like a Dollar Tree. It was almost like some redheaded stepchild version of both of those stores. It had like a Big Lots feel weirdly, but now the company has decided that they are done with them. So while nobody was paying attention, because everybody's looking at Walmart right now and we're looking at Amazon and all these other things, especially right now because of the tariffs and this and that and whatever else, Dollar Tree sold Family Dollar to a completely different company for $1 billion. Think about that. In 2015, Dollar Tree willingly was happy to spend $8.5 billion to purchase Family Dollar. Just a decade later, they are also more than happy to sell Family Dollar for $1 billion. That's a $7.5 billion loss. Now, maybe they can afford that because Dollar Tree is also the same one who has been raising their prices. It's no longer Dollar Tree. We call it the 5-quarter store or $1.25 store because their prices have consistently gone up, right? Maybe having something to do with that $8.5 billion they put out to begin with to purchase Family Dollar. But Dollar Tree went from being $1 to $1.25 to who knows what, because now they have a $3, $5, $7, and $10 sections inside Dollar Tree. They're getting a little bougie for their name, right? But they decided they were going to sell Family Dollar. And I told you guys years ago, 2 or 3 years ago to be exact, when we talked about the purchase of Family Dollar by Dollar Tree, I said they don't want Family Dollar. They want less competition. This is all about getting rid of competition because now the people that they have sold it to, which is, let me see, make sure I get the right information here because I want to tell you exactly who they sold it to. They sold it to a private equity firm called Brigade Capital Management and McCallum Capital Management for $1 billion. Now, this company, the capital management or the private equity firms that bought it, they have gone through now and they're closing down 1,000 stores, which is kind of a big deal. What is crazy to me is that you have so many people talking about the fact that there's very little options for people on fixed incomes, on a fixed budget, on Social Security, or living off of SSI or SSDI or any of these other things, basically retired also, that it's hard for them to afford to go shopping at certain places. So thankfully we have Dollar General. Thankfully we have Dollar Tree. Thankfully we have Family Dollar, but slowly these things are going away. Family Dollar is now going away. Next thing you know, what's going to happen to Dollar General? Dollar General, I think, might be safe only because they seem to be popping up everywhere a Walmart might possibly be. You see a Dollar General. They are on every single street corner. So out of everything, I wonder if Dollar Tree might be next on the chopping block. Is the reason they sold Family Dollar because they wanted to get rid of the competition, even though it was still theirs. So it's very weird how they've done this. Or because they are now starting to hemorrhage because they are trying to carry more expensive things, not realizing that their clientele prefers cheaper options. They're kind of, what's the phrase, shooting themselves in the foot, right? So this is what happened. I just want to give you more information since I've kind of repeated myself numerous times on accident. Family Dollar, hello, whatever's happening there. But Family Dollar, this is Dollar Tree made a major investment in another discount chain, Family Dollar, several years ago. We talked about that. The stores are facing increasing pressure from other competitors like online marketplaces and larger retailers. This is according to the site that Dollar General or Dollar Tree one. As a result, Family Dollar is closing 1,000 underperforming store locations as leases expire. With the sale of Family Dollar set to close later this year, we will be able to fully dedicate ourselves to Dollar Tree's long-term growth, profitability, and returns on capital. This is according to the Dollar Tree CEO, Mike Creedon. And the Family Dollar and Dollar Tree store in Salem, Oregon is one of the stores that is closing in April. There's going to be plenty of other ones. It says here that there are 600 stores, Family Dollars, that close in 2024. You've got another 1,000 closing in 2025. And in addition, 30 Dollar Tree stores will be closed because you have to take into consideration the ones that became that little redhead stepchild store we were talking about, the conjoined twin version of a store. Those may close because the lease is going to be up, and unless Dollar Tree wants to take over the full square footage of both those combined store space, it's not going to work out well. They'll have to get rid of those as well. So you're going to have 30 Dollar Trees closing down. It's not looking good for them. I don't like saying that Walmart is the king of lower price items, but at the end of the day, it kind of sort of is. Yeah, you have the ability to go to Dollar Tree and spend $1.25 on things, but sometimes you can actually get those things cheaper at Walmart, like the canned tuna. I think it's Star-Kissed tuna. Star-Kissed or Bumblebee, one of the two. They're $1.25 at Dollar Tree, but sometimes you can still go to Walmart and get them for 99 cents. Same thing with certain cans of vegetables or of like the Green Giant stuff or the SpaghettiOs, because I love SpaghettiOs, or your little packs of ramen. Things at Dollar Tree are not always cheaper than at Walmart, and it's going to end up biting them in the butt in the long run, because Dollar Tree, when they bought out Family Dollar, at the time seemed like a good idea, because there's no way they were going to know what the environment or what the economy was going to do. They didn't know Joe Biden was going to come through and destroy everything in 4 years, and inflation was going to go through the roof. They didn't know C-19 was going to be let loose or happen, however you want to phrase that. They didn't know any of these things. So they took a gamble in 2015 with spending that much money to buy out Family Dollar. That gamble clearly did not pay off. And now they're kind of trying to keep afloat for themselves. At the same time that they are closing down, we talked about this months ago, I think, Joann's. They built a new Joann's where I live. And I remember going, why? Why are we building brand new stores like Joann's? There's nothing wrong with people wanting to go out and make their own clothes, their own quilts, their own everything like that. But we already have Michael's, we have Hobby Lobby, we have whatever else there is I can't think of right now. Joann's coming into a space, especially where I live in a beachy, touristy town, didn't make sense to me. So then one day I see a going out of business sign on Joann's, and I was like, well, could have seen that coming. But it turns out the entire company is filing bankruptcy. And we've talked about it so many times. It's because a lot of people, younger crowds, don't know how to use the things that places like Joann's and Michael's and whatever sells. Yes, there are a lot more people who are picking things up thanks to TikTok. I don't like TikTok, but I do have to thank TikTok for the virality of some videos that has my 15-year-old daughter wanting to make her own quilt. We went to not Joann's, but Michael's, and bought a ton of yarn for her. I think it's called yarn. So she can make this big puffy, crocheted blanket that she saw. I don't even know what it's called, but we bought like 12 things of yarn that she needs to make these things. But she never would have wanted to do it if she hadn't seen somebody in her age bracket doing it on TikTok. Now, the girl doing it on TikTok was probably paid influencers, right? They get paid by these stores, by these companies, whatever, to do these things. But you do have, thankfully, somebody doing stuff like that, which will bring back the ability for younger people to know how to do some things for themselves. Sew a button back on, fix a zipper on a pair of jeans, maybe put together a whole entire dress, especially because they've taken out home ec, they've taken out woodworking, they've taken out all the classes that people in my parents and my grandparents' age groups would have gone through in school, in high school. They don't do any of that anymore in most places. Maybe Midwest, but where I am, not so much. Where was I going with this? Y'all, squirrel brain has left the building today. But when Joann said it was closing down, I was not surprised, because again, there's not a ton of people who are going out and using the things that Joann sells. Look, the Southern in me has just popped out. So I was driving to Pilates today, and look, store is officially closed as of 4/28/29. Took a little picture there for you. I was there yesterday, and I saw the people who work there at that Joann's going in and basically cleaning out their lockers. They already have the sign removal. That's the sign removal truck there to take down the Joann sign. And it's like, man, that was quick. They just built this thing a year ago, or overtook it from Bed Bath and Beyond, because that went out of business. So then this goes in, and then, or was it Haverty's that took over Bed Bath and Beyond? Either way, the constant rotation of these big name brands is crazy, because they continuously end up filing bankruptcy or having to close stores. The next thing you know, we're going to have the majority of online retail, which right now, thanks to tariffs, according to a lot of people, is even harder. We talked about it yesterday, how Amazon contemplated showing what the tariffs were going to be on the things that you're purchasing on their website. You have to keep in mind that there will be higher prices purchasing online. On top of all of that, though, now you even have, is it UPS or FedEx is closing down or getting rid of 20,000 jobs. Everything right now is kind of, it feels like we've been tossed into a blender and somebody hit the go button and everything's just getting kind of discombobulated or whatever else. You have, I swear it's UPS, taking away 20,000 jobs. They're going to close down some places and they're blaming it on tariffs. Tariffs have not even done anything to affect it like that. But I think there's a lot of people who are holding on to their money, or they're spending it differently. They say they have to close down these delivery sites and these delivery stores and these delivery whatevers because people aren't ordering online because the economy's bad. I look at it and go, well, maybe it's because they're shopping locally now. There's so many people out there that have gotten so fed up with the food supply, with the China-made stuff, with everything else, that they've gone more local. They're going to the mom and pop stores. They're going to your local rancher or farmer or whatever else to make your purchases instead of your grocery stores, instead of ordering from Amazon, instead of ordering from Target, Walmart, and having it delivered. But also keep in mind, a lot of these locations now, these bigger stores that you would normally order from that would get delivered via FedEx or UPS or United States Postal Service or even third party through Amazon, a lot of them are now implementing their own delivery people. And you can't forget, you have DoorDash, you have Uber Eats, but Uber will now deliver anything. You have these people who have apps that are the honeydew people, where you can pay them to go pick up all your stuff for you and bring it to you. There's so many things going on right now that when you see places like UPS closing down and firing 20,000 people, you see Family Dollar closing down, you see all these things, it's supposed to make you go, oh no, the sky is falling and the economy's going to shit and we're all screwed and you should save everything you can and blah, blah, blah. But I look at it from completely different angles and go, well, maybe it's because UPS overhired or overbuilt during the C-19 whole thing, where people were afraid to go outside and were only ordering online. So now getting rid of the jobs and closing the stores down isn't really getting rid of, I don't know how to phrase this, getting rid of things that aren't needed, but getting rid of excess, right? Think of it that way. Same thing with Family Dollar. They were bought out. Maybe they were never needed to be that many to begin with. So this is kind of evening the playing field back to where it should have been. When we had the supply chain issues and the grocery store shelves were almost empty. And I do this because we have way too much shit on our grocery store shelves. There never needs to be 750 boxes of Cheerios. Who the hell's going in and buying 750 boxes of Cheerios at every single grocery store out there? Nobody. Half of that stuff goes into the garbage. It is all awful. If we weren't wasting so much shit, we wouldn't be paying so much money. But anyway, so when you see things like this happening now, my brain goes, well, is it the economy, or is it that we have finally gotten back to a place where excess needs to be cut back? DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, under President Trump and Elon Musk and all of them, DOGE is the whole thing. You're cutting back the fat. Now, maybe that's what all these other businesses are doing. They're cutting back the areas that don't need to be out there because it's costing them their bottom dollar, but it's not really going to affect anybody. Now, obviously, it affects the people that don't have that job anymore. That part will always suck, but hopefully there is somewhere else they can go and get a job. Anyway, I just want to bring this to your attention. For those of you who rely on Family Dollar, for those of you who rely on UPS, for those of you who rely on Joann's, there's going to be a lot of changes amongst those three, but you have so many other options, Same thing as when we had issues on the shelves. You're like, oh, I can't find this toothpaste, then use that one. Oh, I can't find this soup, then eat that one. Oh, I can't find this if not this, then that. Like there's always a, if not this, then use that. And this is no different. If Family Dollar is going away, there's still hopefully is something in your area, in your neighborhood that you can use, whether it's Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Walmart, mom and pop place, CVS, Walgreens. Some may cost more than others, but some may be cheaper than others. You just got to look around and figure out what you can do. Easier said than done sometimes. I'm fully aware of that. But either way, I just wanted you guys to know exactly what was going on so you weren't blindsided if you do happen to frequent a Family Dollar, or you go to a certain UPS store or a Joann's, and then tomorrow you go and poof, be gone. Now you know. So that's it, Squirrel Tribe. I love y'all immensely. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.